Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is expected to put forth his victory plan to end the war against Russia when he meets U.S. President Joe Biden at a White House meeting. Earlier in his address to the world leaders at the UNGA, Zelensky said that Moscow is planning attacks on Kyiv's nuclear power plants and infrastructure. Aiming to disconnect the plants from the power grid, Zelensky added that any missile or drone strike in the energy system could lead to a nuclear disaster, warning that a day like that must never come.
Recently, I received yet another alarming report from our intelligence. Now Putin does seem to be planning attacks on our nuclear power plants and their infrastructure, aiming to disconnect the plants from the power grid. With the help of satellites, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, satellites of other countries. Russia is getting images and detailed information about the infrastructure of our nuclear power plants.
Shortly after the Ukrainian president's remarks, his Russian counterpart, Vladimir Putin, made his most explicit threat over the use of nuclear weapons, saying that Russia would consider such a response to a massive air attack on its soil.
The updated version of the document proposes that aggression against Russia by any non-nuclear weapon state, but with the participation or support of a nuclear weapon state, should be regarded as a joint attack on the Russian Federation. The conditions for Russia's transition to the use of nuclear weapons are also clearly defined. We will consider such a possibility as soon as we receive reliable information about a massive launch of aerospace attack, means, and their crossing of our state border.
Ukraine has been pushing the United States and its allies to ease restrictions on weapons that can be used to strike deeper into Russia. Soon after Zelensky's UN address, U.S. President Joe Biden's administration promised new weapons for Ukraine. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has announced $375 million in military aid for Ukraine. The package that includes HIMARS precision rocket launchers, cluster munitions and light tactical vehicles, assuring that U.S. is committed to Ukraine's defense against what he called Russia's brutal aggression. Blinken said that Washington would deploy this new assistance to Kyiv as quickly as possible. Well, this is likely to be the last such visit before the November elections in the U.S. that could perhaps shape Washington's policy on Kyiv. Zelensky is slated to meet U.S. President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris, and he will put forth his victory plan. The aid package comes as Ukraine frets that a second Donald Trump term could loosen U.S.'s commitment towards Ukraine. Trump has repeatedly praised the Russian president and has refused to take a side on the war. As Kyiv seeks to cover all political bases, Zelensky plans to meet the former president during his visit as well. However, there's no confirmation on a Zelensky-Trump meet.
It's an honor to be with you.